Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today I'll be reviewing the S.H.Figuarts Plus Ultra effect part set for Bakugo and Deku S.H.Figuarts. Now, it's interesting that this is a double pack effect part set for figures that had literally just come out. Like the Deku, it's a couple months old at the time of recording, but the Bakugo came out at like the same time as this, which means that this was in development way before any of these figures were released, and they made a conscious effort to release this separate. It, for the most part, comes with effects that couldn't have come with the base set, and I do appreciate that they are designed as sold separately effects, so you can get them if you want. However, I believe that Bakugo and Deku both have an accessory each in this set that should have been in the base set, and that kinda sucks. Now, taken out of the box, here's what we've got, and it is a pretty decent chunk of stuff. So we've got all of these one-for-all effect parts for Deku, both green lightning and this sort of like red sort of full power thing, as well as this new explosion effect for Bakugo. We get this absolute mess of assembly parts for Bakugo as well. Separate forearms for Bakugo, new hands for Bakugo, new hands for Deku, as well as a new hair sculpt for Deku. Little stands for the comic effect part, smash and boom effects, and that's about it. It's a pretty cool setup, but I will go through it all and give my 2 cents on why I think this is good and why I think it's bad. But first off, we need to equip it on the actual S.H.Figuarts, and through a little bit of movie magic, it will happen instantaneously. And it'll be nice and simple just like that. So now we've got the Bakugo and Deku, and we just need to equip them, so it'll be as easy as 1, 2, 3. If you can't tell, it was not easy at all. The Bakugo effect part, the machine gun thingies that go into his back were a freaking nightmare. The instructions constantly tell you how fragile everything is. The Deku stuff is very similar to the Revoltech Thor, like the Amazing Yamaguchi Thor, where it says just like, yeah, clip them on, you figure it out. And they don't hold on super well. It's kind of annoying, but yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, it's done now. We will be looking at Bakugo first. So he's got these posable machine gun, I believe, parts that move onto his back. It also comes with an alternative back part piece to his collar, which are these other tiny little machine guns with these tiny little pipes that are meant to connect into either of his arms. There's a tiny little plug on each of his arms, but I'm terrified of it because it constantly tells you how fragile everything is. And I didn't want to do that and move his arms around. That sounded like an absolute disaster, especially some of these parts went flying as I was trying to pose them in different poses anyway, so I do not want to force anything if I do not need to. But anyway, the back part machine gun effect thing with 6 arms is a really, really cool accessory. It works really, really well. You get a lot of expression in it just because every single arm is posable, and works pretty well, all things considered, but I was terrified to put them together just because the instructions make it very clear how fragile everything is, and the joint connections are incredibly tight and the plugs are very, very tiny. It was a nightmare from beginning to end, but I can't deny that it doesn't look really, really cool when you're done. The other major accessory you get for Bakugo are the alternative forearms. So this is his look without the grenade arms, which makes him just a regular S.H.Figuarts pretty much. It changes his posability just a tiny bit just because the gauntlets aren't in the way, but I do like having the option of a properly powered down Bakugo without a mask, with his forearms just normal, and the detail work on those is really, really nice. The process to swap these out is a little bit more involved than you'd think, just because of how the gauntlets are attached initially, but it is cool once you've got it all up and running, and he looks very, very nice like that. And again, changes his silhouette completely. And then the last main accessory for Bakugo are the new explosion effects, which are this sort of like net of sharp explosions that are sparkling. Really, really cool effect part. I really like how it looks. The way it attaches onto the hands is very elegant as well, and everything looks very nice and seamless. You do also get these little boom effects on stands, adds a little bit more to the figure, more so in photography, but it is kind of cool to have. And in general, Bakugo's got a really nice loadout and works very well with the accessory pack. I think that the only thing that should have been in the base set of Bakugo were the forearms, especially since they are effectively something that involve posability, and I think it would be cool to have that option of being like a fully powered down Bakugo for the base set, especially since it already had an unmasked face and hair sculpt. It would have worked better to have the forearms there as well, but I understand why they didn't do it, but it still kind of sucks, and Deku has a similar accessory that we'll be talking about very shortly now. So Deku's loadout is mostly one for all effect parts, so green lightning and some red effect as well. He's got an alternate hair sculpt, which is his sort of like main hair, just with some of those lightning effects as well. It is a bit of a darker shade as well, so the hair doesn't really match too much with the base, but looking front on you wouldn't really notice it too much. Now, like I said, these effect parts attach very much like the Amazing Yamaguchi Thor, where they're flexible material and you just sort of slot them on where they'll fit. The instructions do give a rough outline of how they'd like you to do it, but realistically it's up to you how you'd like to do it. Generally, it's fun enough to do and easy enough to set up, even if they fall off constantly, just because the actual reapplication isn't too difficult. Then the red effects are easy enough to do as well. You get one for each hand and one for each foot, and they look really good as well. I especially like the leg one. Looks pretty damn good, especially if you get a really nice dynamic pose going. You do also get smash effect parts similar to the booms for Bakugo, and they look nice as well. Nothing too crazy, but it adds just a little bit more character to the figure, and I understand this as like a separately sold accessory pack. The other thing that is the main accessory that Deku should have come with is the flick. I'm not sure how often he does it in like later series, but it was such a big moment that that was his main attack for like the first 2-3 seasons of My Hero. He's got a left and right hand flicking, and it's a simple accessory, but it's a really important accessory for the character, I believe. And I think it's a little bit awkward that he didn't come with that in the base. It would have been easy, it's just an extra hand, it's not like an extra effect part or anything like that, and it kind of sucks that we didn't get it. But I guess that they need reasons to sell this effect part set even more, or reasons to make people that didn't want the effect part set to want this, because it feels like the figure's lacking in some way. It's all sorts of weird things. But regardless, it was harder to find the effect part set than it was to find the Deku and Bakugo out in the wild, so I'm sure that their strategy is working somehow. But it is a little bit awkward having 2 accessories in this set that should have been in the base set, but everything else I agree with should have been a separately sold effect. It's entirely like if you want to. Alternatively, if you wanted like some one for all effects, you could just buy a separate Tamashi like lightning effect or something like that. I'm sure you can probably fake one for all with that, but otherwise it's pretty good. A similar thing you could probably do with explosion effects too, but the specific Bakugo effects that they've got here are very nice, and in general the loadout is very nice. It's just not my favorite. But it does make some really solid figures even better, and it makes an already terrifying figure in the Bakugo to pose around with the spikes make it even more terrifying, because now he is super fragile at all times, so he is very awkward to deal with. Still a really good figure, but very awkward to deal with. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I will see you all next time. Oh hi, I didn't see you there. As you can see, I'm hard at work making new videos for the channel. Now, while I'm happy with where the channel is right now, I could use your help. By liking, commenting, and subscribing to the channel, it helps out the YouTube algorithm and recommends my channel to more people. So if you like any of my videos, please let me know, it really helps out. And if you liked this one, please let me know too. It means a lot to me, and I really appreciate all of you guys.